Welcome, crew, guys, gals, ghouls, friends, fiends, foes, whoever may be listening beyond the omniverse tonight. Secure your tinfoil hats, buckle down tight, and hold on loosely as we soar over the rocky tops of the La Platas on a rocky mountain high, get sucked into the vortex of the Four Corners, and settle down snugly at mile marker 420 in colorful Colorado. It is Saturday, July 6th. Sunday, July 7th, for those of you across the pond and beyond. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, and welcome to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I'm your host, TessaTNT, and we are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. If you're joining us this evening, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with me. As per usual, as of lately, it's going to just be me and you, kid. So we're going to be checking out some trippy TikToks that I found quite interesting as I watch in the evening. You know, it's kind of like my evening schedule sort of thing. Trying to get to bed. I like to watch either scary movies or creepy TikToks. So yeah, I found some really cool ones that I want to share with you. Yeah, I'm your host, TessaTNT. We are broadcasting live from the Mile High Clubhouse tonight. If you're listening live right now, you may be listening to us on Spreaker.com. You may also be listening to us live on eTalk Radio, which you can find at etalk.tv/radio. I'm just fixing some sound stuff here really quick. As well as KPNL Radio, which you can find at KPNL Radio at kpnl-db.com. If you like to watch as well as listen, please tune in to us on Facebook under We Are Paradox Media, YouTube under We Are Paradox Media, as well as Twitch under We Are Paradox Media. If you don't mind, mosey on over to our YouTube channel. Please give us a like on any video that you've watched or listened to, and please subscribe if you haven't. I just looked today and we're up past 200. That's pretty good. I'd like to be higher, but you know what? I really like where we're at right now. So yeah, that was my hubby trying to call. It's like, you know what time I start the show? What's going on? I might message him really quick and just ask just that. What is happening? Everything okay? Oh. My daughter messaged me about Dexter. So I don't know if you guys ever watched Dexter. It's like one of our favorites. It's the serial killer that likes to murder bad guys. But we were talking about how it went from him doing that in Florida to sorry. I can multitask, but I can't talk and text at the same time, I guess. But yeah, then he went to be a lumberjack, and then I guess there's a new Dexter out, Dexter New Blood, which is about his son. So that is pretty intriguing. Let me go ahead and share screen here. My hair is all crazy. I was out feeding and watering the chickens, and then changing out Ghazi's, I would say bath water, but her pool water. Ghazi Gazborn needed some new pool water with all the heat and stuff lately. It's made things a bit mossy. Like super mossy, super quickly. Let's see how this is going. Make sure I mute this, otherwise we're going to have an echo. All right, so I have a list here. That is my TikTok. We have one video. I've been talking to some friends about expanding that. Some of my friends that are listeners and watchers as well were like, hey, you need to make some new videos. So I'm going to work on that, I promise. Yeah, Dexter, New Blood. Have you guys seen that? Oh, before I get over here, let me turn up my volume on my earbuds real quick, like. Because I can hear, but yeah, it's at 25%. Let's boost that up quite a bit. Having tinnitus or tinnitus makes it a little difficult to...
Places to avoid when visiting Washington, D.C.
pausing. Okay, just want to make sure I got the size right. Let's make it bigger. Make it bigger. Oh my. Oh no. Okay, sorry guys. Over there on my um speaker, let me put something here real quick. I'll move some stuff around. Plug in my other internet. Okay, damn. And this is what I've been talking about. If you can hear me over there on Spreaker, freaking Century Stink is really upsetting me. All right. Okay, so on break, I'm going to have to go over and fix that. Hold on. Since we're at the beginning of the show, I might just fix it now. Fix is a relative term as far as this goes. Yeah, I think we're gonna just start all over again. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I'm the only one here. There should not. Sorry, guys. Man, Century Stink. You don't mind going over there and tell them get their shiz together. Gonna refresh this over here. Reloading site for StreamYard because ain't nobody got time for this. Man, oh man. Yeah, so over in the UK, I've seen you guys are doing your election thing. We've been dealing with our first presidential debate, and I say dealing with because nobody really likes either of the parties that are in there. And we do have Mr. JFK Jr. over there. Actually, it's Bobby K Jr. But since he is an independent or whatnot, they're really not doing too much for him. But all right, let me get back on screen here. Yeah, so it's been, which one do you pick? The Brussels sprouts or the radishes? I don't like either one of those. All right, let's restart this screen share. Sorry, guys. I should have done this in the first place, but there really wasn't an issue, so I didn't. And then as soon as we start, there is an issue. Yes, something went wrong. We know that tweet. I almost said Twitter. TikTok. Oh, you can't reach that, can you? Oh, Schwumpigorn, here we go. It's coming back. Oh, wow, that video is huge. Wow. We're totally a professional, independent podcast over here. I can't wait till I get this new thing. It's like fiber optic cable, supposed to be the most badass thing in the area, except for Starlink, but I can't afford that. Okay, let's go over to my light. Let's bring this bad boy up. Boy, bad boy. Hopefully this will do better than what Century Stink was doing. So I have a router expander, even though it showed full capability here just a bit ago.
Places to avoid when visiting.
Yeah, just decided to act up there for a bit. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Browser has blocked your screen. Click the screen icon and your address bar below. Please read. Okay, doing it. There we go. All right, so as I was saying, these are some pretty interesting TikToks that I was wanting to share with you guys. It's a bit smaller than I wanted. I'll try it, see if doing it this other way might be better. See, it shows the icons bigger, but not really the screen. We'll go back over to the 25% here. You guys ready? Maybe.
Places to avoid when visiting Washington, D.C., Part 3. Number 4. U Street Corridor, located in Northwest D.C. The U Street Corridor has long been one of the worst areas in Washington, D.C. The overall chance of being a victim of crime in the U Street Corridor is approximately 1 in 10. Number 3. Deanwood, located in Northeast D.C., Deanwood has a violent crime rate that is 600% higher than the national average. Most of the crime in this neighborhood stems from gang activity. Crime has steadily risen by 2% every year since 2018.
Oh, no.
Despite having a moderate police presence. Number 2, Anacostia. Anacostia is a historic neighborhood in southeastern D.C., but the area is plagued by crime. The crime rate in this neighborhood is sporadic and has fluctuated since the early 2000s. Residents say that they don't feel the police adequately protect them or patrol the area. Number 1, Brentwood. Brentwood is the neighborhood it's probably best to avoid in Washington, D.C., due to high violent crime rates. In 2023, there were 1,700 violent crimes and about 7,000 property crimes. Places to avoid when visiting Washington, D.C., Part 3. Number 4.
Australia are...
So when I brought that video up, I was looking for, okay, so there was this video that I saw the other day. I could not find it here last minute before. Hey, Jay, wasabi. Good to see you. So it showed in Washington, D.C., it showed the White House, and then it showed this road going through the corridor, and it's got a building on each side. I've never seen this structure before. And it showed a bunch of hangman's nooses, and then it showed like the testing of the hangman's nooses. And so I was wondering, like, is this a legitimate thing? Like, are they actually testing this out for whatever is about to happen? Or could this be like a movie set for the movie Civil War, the one that came out in 2024? I wanted to really see that. I didn't get to. I missed it. For some apparent reason, it was saying it was in June, like June 19th, but come to find out it was actually back in March or whatnot. So I don't know, that was pretty deceiving on their part as far as when this movie's gonna come out. But so this one is talking about man-made clouds and how not only the United States and India and Australia, everybody are making these clouds to kind of off-put global warming. But it's really out of control. Like, if they go too far with this, we could see some dramatic global cooling, but who knows?
Creating man-made clouds to cool the ocean.
Yeah.
Take a look.
There's 2 whole shipping containers with big air compressors in them to generate the compressed air to blast the plume. And so what we see is that the plume actually gets sucked right up into the clouds. Oh, wow. We don't have. Well, that's good, right? Yeah, it's terrific. It makes life a lot easier. And in fact, it means we're able to revise a lot of our sort of calculations as to how many stations we need and how efficient it would be. per second, one of those machines, we've got two now, but for one, it produces about 1,000 billion droplets a second from about a shot glass of water a second, 30 mils. Okay. You're smiling. I mean, is he just making stories?
This is the stuff of science fiction.
I'm all for helping to save the environment as long as this doesn't become another Dubai situation, or else the kangaroos gonna have to learn how to swim.
And we're trying to get at what's the Chinese are doing, you think, on the back.
Australia are creating.
That's interesting too. What is China doing on the dark side of the moon? Hold it now.
Australia.
But no, like I said, in Dubai, they totally did not hide it. They're like, oh yes, we're doing this. We're making these clouds, not really cloud seeding. But no, they were totally bragging about it, everything. And then all of a sudden you see so many places in India that are flooded. It's crazy. Like the smallest minute thing can put it overboard, really. It's pretty scary. You got to be careful with that stuff. Let Mother Nature take care of it.
Breaking news on the UFO front. An article just got dropped by the Debrief, and it's about...
No kidding, non-human, exotic origin, vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
So make sure you go check out the Debrief article and read it for yourself, but then also go to Need to Know podcast, and he's given some of the context around it. And then also be on the lookout for the Newsmax video that's going to come out later today. Breaking news.
So that's no surprise to those of us that have known about this forever. How long has it been since America has been going to South America, all over the place, to retrieve these UFOs so they could reverse engineer it? This is not something new. I don't know.
Program. We'll, of course, have tonight is all about a piece of video that everyone is calling the jellyfish UFO. Only a portion of that video has been released so far. But News Nation's Brian Enton sat down for an exclusive interview with a Marine who watched the entire video and said it was well known on the base in Iraq where he was stationed that video existed. Brian joins us now. This veteran told you it was basically like the ghost story of the base.
Yeah, he did, Elizabeth. He said a lot of people on the base saw the video. No one could figure out exactly what this object was. They did not really view it as a threat, but they did think it was a very big mystery. It is the video of an unidentified object that is sparking debate and curiosity. No one can say for sure what exactly this is, and now for the first time, we're hearing from a Marine veteran who says he served on the base where the video was taken in Iraq.
Did you think when you watched it for the first time that, like, it could be, non-human?
It crossed my mind because the theories that we had, like I said, didn't fully explain it.
Michael Sinkoski was an intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, tactical controller at the base in Iraq.
Sorry, I forgot to mute the screen when I came back from our Century Stink breakdown, but I got it. Hopefully there's no echo now. Apologies.
He says the video was captured in 2017 and shown to him by colleagues when he arrived in 2018. Marines nicknamed the object the Spaghetti Monster.
When they started seeing it on the camera, they were watching it to make sure that it wasn't a threat. And I believe some of the Marines were tasked to try to find it on night vision, and they were looking for it with their other sensors and everything else that we had. And they couldn't find it, so they kept an eye out, but it wasn't like we were scrambling to our defensive positions or anything like that. It was just a big unknown.
Sinkoski says the video was captured by an aerostat, which is a big balloon that looks like a blimp over the base.
Oh, wow.
It had cameras on it to look out for threats. Sinkoski says his colleagues tracked the object as it traveled by the base and out over Lake Habbaniyah in Anbar province.
And depending on which angle you look at it from, like, it seems like there's a lower angle and a higher angle. The lower the angle is, the faster it seems to be moving. Like from high up, it seems slower, just like when you're looking at something from the ground. Like I saw a UFO last week. It was moving fast.
More on that tomorrow.
Moving off into the distance, but it got seemingly far enough away to where they couldn't see it anymore, whether it dropped into the water or it just continued over the lake, because there's a lake next door of the base that we were at. But at no point towards the end of the video did it where you could see it drop into the water and then shoot off into the sky like there have been some claims. And it didn't seem to be posturing to threaten us at all. So it wasn't like we needed to take immediate action again.
So to me, it seems like the UFO orbs I saw here. I have a picture I call Conference in the Clouds, and there's a circle of them on the clouds next to the moon. They're different colors. They're in a circle, and then they disperse and they go to different points in the sky. The more you look, the more there are, and then they go from being like an orb shape to what I would call like an individual craft. So it looks like elongated, kind of like a tic tac, but it's got two little thrusters on the side. And where they were, when they changed position, just like with military craft, each one would go in the same position. And then when they're about to leave, they go back to orb form, and then they leave. When I saw them closer up, once coming from the reservation, Ignacio, Colorado, and once in my very own backyard going along the fence. The closer it is, the bigger it looks, but when it was big, it was about this big, 3 to 4 foot in circumference. But I think those are like kind of like spy orbs. Like, I think they're there to gather information or whatnot. So pretty interesting, if you ask me.
And Dr. Thigpen, in your book, you've even suggested that aliens and angels are one and the same. Talk to me about your own maybe foundation in faith and how you came up with that conclusion.
Like, what do you think about that? Like, the more I hear, so the watchers, we're being watched constantly. The closer we get to end times, which, I mean, we've been talking about the end of time since the beginning of time, just like kids these days, you know? Those are two popular things that human beings like to talk about. But the more I've heard and the more information that is gathered, it makes you wonder, are fallen angels actually aliens with these spacecraft? And what are they up to? Are aliens and fallen angels different? I don't think aliens and angels are the same, because I don't think angels are here right now. But the fallen angels, watchers, those two could be pretty intriguing. Something to kind of flip your mind about a bit.
Conclusion.
Actually, what I say is that some of the sightings and encounters we had could be angelic or even demonic fallen angels. But really, the main point of the book is that I think that would only be a portion of them. The kind of evidence that's accumulating these days in these encounters suggests something that would be different from angels or fallen angels, demons. So I'm a part of an effort these days, another one of the new developments, to encourage scholars in all kinds of fields, including religious studies, to begin looking more closely at the UAP studies field and to look at it in light of their own religious traditions. That's what I've tried to do with my book from the Catholic tradition, but I'm encouraging folks from other religious traditions to do the same.
Dr. Thigpen, you and I can agree that people are definitely much more interested now than they had been in the past, and I think that the growing attention can only help to bring light to the situation after all.
U.S. government claims no evidence of alien life. No, they don't want you to know, because how long have they been lying to us about this? They don't want you to know that they've lied to you, because how are you supposed to trust them? Well, those of us that have been in the military, those of us that have been exposed to these certain things, do not trust our government. Yes, we can be patriotic. We love our country. That doesn't mean we love our government. It's just like parents. Parents kind of keep things from their kids to protect them from certain things, you know? You're not old enough to know this or whatnot, right? It's such a handful.
Oh, wasn't it Ezekiel who looked up into the sky and saw a wheel? So maybe he too saw some type of UFO or.
Also, my son And I kind of feel bad for him because he's so young, and him talking about these things in school concerns me because, like, I love the fact that he believes certain things that are actually happening, but I feel bad that he feels so strong about it that he shares it in school. Like, I remember when I was little and I'd share these things in school, ridicule and losing friends, all kinds of different things that I had to go through that threw me into what I call the paranormal closet. I don't want him to go through that because it took me till, okay, so I was in grade school in, let's say, 84, 85, and then I didn't come out of the paranormal closet until 2012. When a mother lost her son during visitation because the father did some bad things, and I felt like I needed to come out of the paranormal closet, but I don't want him to go through the same thing. But I am intrigued that he's into that. Anyways, that brings me to the point of ancient art, ancient script. There's so many ancient art pieces, even back to where, there's little baubles and stuff in the sky, some red, some black, and it shows like old buildings and people in old form. Like, man, I don't even know how far back that was in some of these pieces, but you can look it up on Google or whatnot. Alien in art form. People painted what they saw, just like in prehistoric times when, there's cave dwellers and such, or even on the Mayan pyramids, etc. There's dinosaurs, there's UFOs, there's different things being carved. They only carved or depicted what they had seen. But yeah, he was blown away when I showed him, Mother Mary with Jesus and on and back, like even before then, these different artifacts of UFO life. But alien life, I believe, has existed on this earth or around us before we even existed.
Object there. Dr. Thigpen, thank you.
That's just me, though.
And Dr. Thigpen, in your book, you've even suggested that aliens and angels are one and the same.
Not enough water intake, and wet food is the best way to fix that.
So this video here makes me not only very sad for this owner, but just quite frankly very exhausted and frustrated with the field of veterinary medicine, simply because we are not doing a good job of properly educating owners on the importance of moisture in a cat's diet. And I say,
wake up, grab my bottle, give it a little shake up, then I'm gonna go play with my teacup. I'm gonna throw the spoon right off the table, and I'm gonna go and eat the Play-Doh. I wanted to. Grab my bottle, give it a little shake up. I wanted to. I'm gonna go throw my teacup. I wanted to. I'm gonna throw the spoon right at the table. Eat Play-Doh, I must poke. I jump in the mud, chase butt. You guys are gonna love this one.
Judge issued a rare and much talked about punishment for a man who admitted to raping a young teenager.
The suspect will serve prison time and will be physically castrated.
Oh, that's right. You heard her correctly. He will be physically castrated before serving a 50-year sentence for raping and impregnating a 14-year-old girl. The district attorney applauded the victim for courageously coming forward to file the charges and, quote, so many of these types of cases go unreported because of fear. The strength it must have taken for this young woman to tell the truth in the face of threats and adversity is incredible. This should be happening every single time. I hope that judge's pillow is always cool. May the sun always shine on his face, and may the wind always be at his back. And may the rest of the justices in America follow suit.
Okay, so this brings me back to, as a chillin', I had to deal with this stuff, and my dad was so infuriated that he kind of had the same sentiment. Should we arrest these people and put them in jail and waste tax people's dollars? No. How about we take them into an old abandoned house and nail their to the floor and give them a rusty spoon and light the place on fire and see what happens. He's either going to saw it off with a rusty spoon or he's going to burn to death. Either way, that's a good premise for people like that. I think we're getting into...
When you look into the ancient past or the Emerald Tablets, well, after
the sensor was zooming out, or it was
rebuild civilization to a high level. So what that tells us is, oh, it was already a high level civilization eons ago, before the Great Flood that we know about. All these indigenous cultures all speak of this Great Flood that happened. And then what he says is after they build up Giza, he then told his people, that crew that came with him, to go around the planet and duplicate what we did here. So that's why when you go anywhere on the earth, you're going to see similar structures, similar construction techniques, megalithic blocks, and all the alignments are going to be very similar because it was the same master architect that taught the world how to build these structures. When you look into the ancient past,
So that also brings me back to vanilla sky pictures. So you see old buildings, or you see a blimp, or old structures being built. A lot of things are being cut out, like even to the point of you could see some workers sitting on the wall or on the beams, but then you just see legs hanging. You don't see anything else because things were cropped. Things were changed because they didn't want you to see what was actually happening. Even buildings that are so old, and I don't know if you know about Tartaria or whatnot, a lot of ancient, old, amazing buildings that we did not have the technology or the knowledge to build were there. I do believe we have lived and been taken out, lived and taken out so many different times. A lot of things have been hidden from us. Even a lot of these old buildings have been torn down. And then, I don't know if you know about the Great Mud Flood. I want to look more into that, but the fact that a lot of places have been covered in mud, even arrowheads and such, even more modern buildings. Oh man, I got a sneeze coming. Oh. Excuse me. But where the windows are down, like the mud came to such a level that they had to rebuild an entrance because the old entrance is down underground, old windows, everything. We even have that in Durango here, where there are windows underground. It is so interesting and thought-provoking, really.
when Enlil, who's known as Yahweh, comes back and sees humans building a tower into the heavens in one of these cities, duplicating what the Anunnaki had built, he gets pissed off because he realizes, oh man, Enki got me. These people are too smart. So he destroys the tower. And he says, my seed shall not abide in man forever. His years shall be 120. And what's the maximum lifespan of a human being in the most pristine condition according to Harvard? 120 years. Then the next thing he did was he separated humans and put them in different places around the planet, just like the tablets say. And then he confused the languages so that we couldn't communicate and collaborate anymore, which is why there's all these different crazy languages. And then on top of that, he put a brand. Whoever ruled over area, brand your people. We know that those are your people. Brand your people. We know those are your people. And look how it's worked. Look how these invisible lines we have on this planet till this very day are still here. If I go to Mexico, I'm an alien. If they come to America, they're an alien.
Yeah, we're still blowing each other up because of fucking religious ideologies.
It's crazy. When
religion shouldn't be like that whatsoever. And that's where the gift of tongues comes in. Like, we all spoke a common language. We all were in relation, basically. And then, you know, this thing happened. That's where the gift of tongues comes in. I grew up learning different things, and the gift of tongues to me was being in a foreign land or whatnot and being able to communicate with foreign peoples. But then some churches, I'm not going to say names or anything, would sit there and, you know, taco nacho burrito, blah, 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 like blubbery blabber. And you just look at them. I did as a kid, and I'm just like, what the heck is wrong with these people, and what the heck are they doing? And they'd be falling out on the floor and all these other things. It's okay to have faith. It's okay to have religion, to have hope, to have whatever you need to get through this thing called life, but don't blaspheme. Don't be saying, oh, well, I'm sitting here and I'm speaking the gift of tongues. That is not what the gift of tongues is. That is no language anybody's ever heard. That's when you go to a foreign land or whatnot, you come across a person who speaks a different language than you, but you understand what they're saying. It's pretty epic.
Yeshua, aka Jesus, was one of these students as well. Read the Gospel of the Holy 12. You'll find that when he disappeared from the Bible, where did he go? He went to Egypt. I've taken many people to the actual bed that he slept in, which is still there in Egypt. It's a shrine now. And he was there learning the Egyptian mysteries. And this is well known, well documented. I mean, that was an apocryphal text that was left out of the Bible. He left there and went to Tibet to learn Reiki healing and Qigong and energy healing with his hands. And came down through India, learned the mystic arts. And then the Bible picks up at the age of 32, I called my son out of Egypt. That's what the Bible says. And he ends up riding it on the back of a donkey back in Jerusalem. So that's the loop that's missing out of there, 12 to 32. That chunk is missing out in the Gospel of the Holy 12. Again, he also had the Mason knowledge. Hand-picked people would get to learn this sacred knowledge. Masons would actually encode it into structures and buildings, which is encoded all throughout the world, throughout Rome at the Vatican, all throughout Europe, all throughout areas like in Bosnia, believe it or not, where you have the Pyramid of the Sun there in the Bosnian Valley. They literally had a system in which they can identify people who they called adept initiates, people who seem to have some type of ability to perceive things at a higher level or retain knowledge at a higher level or display some type of talent, or ability. And those people were literally handpicked. Yeshua, aka Jesus.
That to me is amazing, mind-blowing, once again. And I did write that down, Gospel of the Holy 12, because like I said, I want to read anything and everything I can. Doesn't mean I'm going to believe every single thing of it, just like I said in the other books that I've read. I don't believe every single thing. Some things ring true to me, some things don't. Like, nope, this has been perverted by the will of man, or there's something missing, there's something more I should be reading. And I think it's due to control. Like, we started at a point where, hey, we're free as Americans, or as a lot of our countries may have started. And then we go under the thumb again. Like, we're getting to a point again where we're going to be in a communist country, or our freedoms are going to be taken away, or whatnot. I'm not trying to sound paranoid or anything, but if you look at it, they're trying to take away our freedoms, our rights to bear arms, all kinds of different things that we should have. Yes, not everybody should have a gun, but man, we got to put a limit there. Scary times, man. Like I said, leave me a comment what you think. And I love this guy. Like, I would love to have him on my show.
We have epigenetic memories. That's been proven now scientifically. I remember when Dr. Bruce Lipton talked about this over 20 years ago, the epigenetic memories being passed down from ancestral trauma, and his own peers laughed at him. They almost ostracized him from the community, from his own scientific community. Now, fast forward 20 plus years later, it's taught in universities. Wow. They've done all the scientific studies. They've discovered that in every single one of us, 15 to 20 years of generational trauma is being passed down. The memories, the actual memories are coming in through the RNA on the father's side into the next generation. Damn. And so what's happening is you could be a person that's got what appears to be a great life. I'm doing good. I got my career. Everything's going phenomenal. I got a lot of opportunities. Why do I feel depressed? Why am I anxious? Why am I angry all the time? It might not be you. It could be your ancestors' trauma in your body. Wow. A lot of people don't understand this. Like, for example, why are a lot of African American people extremely angry and frustrated and depressed? Well, 15 to 20 generations hasn't even passed yet from what happened with slavery. I mean, it's just a fact. Right. The first thing is we have epigenetic.
So, don't know if you know or not, but my sister is once again in prison, and I write her a lot. And I was just recently writing her about the family curse. And I do believe in this. I do believe that trauma gets pinned into or infringes into your DNA. It's a part of your genetic code, whether it be your father's side or your mother's side, whatnot. It's pretty interesting. And different things can happen, like addiction, alcoholism, trauma. You might not have been traumatized like a lot of us, but you might still feel the effects of trauma. Why do I have PTSD when I never had a reason to have that? Like, there's so many different things, like he was saying, that can happen due to this genetic anomaly that is put into your genetic code. And I do believe it starts off as something to protect you in the future from the same thing happening to you. But I think sometimes it can backfire and cause issues that aren't meant to happen. I don't know. To me, it's pretty interesting. I do love science. That was like one of my favorite classes in school. But the more they're learning, the more my mind is blown. Like, a lot of these things are making sense. Okay, so what do they call it when a person can take you back into, okay, so past life regression. I've never done it. I'm afraid to do it because I'm just like very protective of my mind or my psyche. If I don't know you, how am I supposed to trust you walking through my head and exposing things like you might trip over a table and break a lamp or whatever, you know? But I have been offered to do past life regeneration, and I'm tempted, you know? I've thought about it for many, many years since I first started doing this. Holy shnikes, like, I think over 5 years ago is when I first started doing this. And I met a woman that does this, and she offered to do it for me. So I want to get back a hold of her and see, hey, are you still down to do this? Because, I don't know, I'm intrigued to see if certain things are revealed, which I know a lot of things due to my own experiences and due to stories that I've heard from people after I shared my stories. They're like, oh, well, your mom or your grandma or whatnot, they'll tell me different stories that they had gone through that are the same that I went through spiritually, as far as the devil, kobolds, which are not kobolds, they're like little gremlin effers. Anyways, like different things like that, different paranormal things. I don't know, super weird. We'll have to get into that later.
Remember I talked about the giants of South America? The Aztecs talked about, before the Aztecs were there, giants roamed the land. These giants were created by a god, but they opposed another god. There's 3 times this god tried to kill all the giants. One of the first times that he tried to kill them was by sending fire from the sky. It killed almost everything, but a few giants survived. And
do you remember that when they said it rained fire from the sky? What?
then they say that this god ended up flooding the whole earth to kill these giants. There was one giant, he survived with his siblings. What they did right after that flood was they're like, we're going to build a giant pyramid, so if it ever floods again, we can escape it. And so this pyramid that they built was called the Great Pyramid of Cholula, the largest pyramid on earth volume-wise. They say it's one of 6 pyramids that were built on top of each other. We're talking a massive Tower of Babel-like thing.
Yeah.
Tower of Babel happened after the flood, and these giants built this pyramid to escape the flood after the flood.
That's an interesting theory. I dig that, dude. That's fun.
That gives me the chills. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's many, many different videos out of giants, not just in Mexico, but all over the world. Yes, there's been skeletons of giants found in America, South America, all over the place. The Smithsonian, just like the Vatican, likes to come in and take these relics and hide them away. So we don't know why. Why are they hiding stuff from us? It makes no sense whatsoever, except for control. We have an agenda. We want you to know. Forget about this past stuff. You need to hear this. Honey boo boo child, I ain't falling for that.
What's your talent?
I can stare at you.
I don't know if it's a
talent. Word you say.
Talent, but I speak a second language that only my mother.
What?
It's called op language. It's from the show Zoom from like the 60s or something.
It's crazy.
Is this a joke? This seems like a joke.
No.
Dead serious.
And my cousins understand it, but they can't speak it.
Give us an example.
Japash, apen, apendapi, apar, waparapping, hapa, wapai, apen, shoppers.
What did you just... What?
Josh and Andy are wearing Hawaiian shirts.
No way. I gotta call your mom and say that exact same phrase.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Okay, mute her real quick. 1 second,
Okay,
Kiki. Tell her tonight can we get chicken for dinner?
Tapunapai, kapen, wapi, gapit, chapik, kapen, papor, dapin, opper.
Yes, we can get chicken for dinner.
What?
I told you.
That makes no sense. This is a prank?
No.
That's
We
incredible.
do it like so rudely. Like it's usually like when we have to say something in
It's
front
like
of
when
someone.
they're talking about
I
people's
love
back,
it though.
like in front of
That's
them.
amazing.
Yeah. What's your talent? Have you ever
That's like pig Latin. And if you guys haven't seen these guys, it's called Butterflies Are Ninjas. And I really love them. Yes, they're a little bit religious, but for the most part, they're talking about things that everybody's talking about. Like, I don't find myself to be religious. I find myself to be spiritual. I was religious at one point, but I don't agree with organized religion because, you know, man falters and the will of man. I don't know. We'll get into that at a later date. Anywho's, these guys are awesome. I love their energy, and they talk about a lot of interesting stuff. So if you're on TikTok, please go and check them out. Butterflies Are Ninjas.
Ever heard of the Sierra Sounds?
No.
Sierra Nevada in the 70s, and this guy and his buddy.
Gotta have this guy back on again, the one that did the Sierra Sounds. Hopefully he's still around, because I love him.
Buddies owned a hunting cabin, like way out in the middle of nowhere. And he originally was out there by himself, and then started just hearing what he described as just like an uncanny valley sound.
Oh.
It sounded human, but it also didn't sound human, and it was like growling. Freaked him out, right? And he's finally like, dude, I gotta get my buddies up here to hear this thing too. He brought his buddies. They were like, okay, yeah, we don't really believe you. Same thing happened. At night, they're hearing these noises and they're like, what the heck is this? And so one of the buddies, he had recording equipment. So he said, we're going to record these sounds to where we can send them off to see if anyone can analyze them.
Oh no.
Ron and his team wanted a scientific validation of the sounds they experienced at the camp. They submitted their tapes to Dr. R. Lynn Curlin, who's a professor of electrical engineering at the University of Wyoming. And he said, yep, they're 100% real. They have not been altered, not sped up, slowed down.
Completely authentic.
I have goosebumps already.
The analysis revealed that the sounds were made
Come on, Century Stink.
by a creature physically larger than man, based on the pitch and sound.
Just gotta give it a moment. Breathe in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Okay, let's try again.
Estimated between 7'3" and 8 feet tall. There was more than one creature recorded. So this is it.
I don't want to hear it.
Imagine being in the woods hearing this. They're mimicking human voices.
There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks.
See him?
They're just chattering.
That was a critter?
Yeah.
They're mimicking human tones.
Stop.
See, that is... Dude,
I know that was long, but...
I'd be so scared to start talking, like to mimic their voices.
Yeah, I would not do that.
Because I just imagine the recording, like, you hear them talking and suddenly they stop and then you hear the recording, like a voice right behind them or
Stop,
something.
Andy.
Have you ever heard of the Sierra?
Okay. So I believe these are the same people that actually got that original picture. I say original, but you know, so there's a big log and there's trees in the background and totally 70s, and you see this Sasquatch or Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it, like walking, and then it looks over its shoulder like this and then keeps walking. And everybody's like, oh, that's fake. That's so fake. This is from the same people. I don't believe it is fake. I'm sorry about my lag. Century Stink needs to get their stuff together. We're going to do one more before we go to breaky time. And then I'll get some more stuff together for us really quick because we're getting into some things that I downloaded earlier. But yeah, let's get to the next one and see what that is. But definitely go check these guys out. They're awesome.
Lasers. Yeah. The green ones that like shoot super far. Yep. There's videos of people that I saw just in South America that it looks like there's a star and they're shooting the
Like I said last time when we talked about this, I want to get a green laser. You can't find them online anywhere. Is it because they're sold out, or is it because the government doesn't want you to have any? Yes, I know some people shoot them at airplanes. You're not supposed to do that. But what about UFOs? Ain't nothing wrong with that.
laser at the star, and then a green laser is pointing back at them.
What?
And they're like laughing about it, and they're like, what is that?
Oh
And then like there's one where he's like in a window and he does it to what it looks like a star.
Yeah.
The star goes out. It's not obviously a star. Comes back and then shoots the green laser back at him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would lose sleep forever.
Yeah.
Is it reflecting?
It's in space.
I'm just trying to look for a non-alien answer at that point.
I mean, is it in space or is it like
it could be like a drone, but it's like it's stagnant.
I'm willing to bet that even our government is like harvesting information. But then
It was in
someone's
South
like,
America.
Oh, was it? I missed
Yeah.
that.
But what is that, man?
That's so strange.
It has to be. I don't know.
Yeah. It's something super weird because obviously that's not normal. So like, what is? I want to see the videos though. We got to try that.
Definitely. Like, doesn't that make you want to try it? So I'm going to stop sharing real quick. Like, anywho's, that was our first hour of trippy TikToks. Like, what did you think? I thought that was pretty trippy. Not sure about you, but dying Willis. All right, so we're about to go to our first music break. On this break, we have Miss Mia Savage with her group. I say group, but it's just her. She's like my little Trent Reznor and my bestie. I feel bad because she was here from Phoenix, and it was the time that my husband took my eldest gals and my grandson and my son-in-law up to Denver to see Queef Jerky, and I didn't have anybody to watch the kids, you know? I'm pretty locked down, so I don't really have local friends. I have loco friends, but not local friends. No, I didn't have anybody to watch my kids. I didn't feel comfortable leaving them, even though they're 9 and 11. So I missed out with my boo. But this is Miss Mia Savage with Lumerian Crypto, our new reality, Let Me Be Your Home and Your Skeleton. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
the shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. In a sea of broken hearts, won't let you fall apart. We'll make a brand new start. When you're coming back, I wanna take a ride. I wanna show you love. I wanna knock you down. Come with me to our new reality. You don't need all the shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. Come with me to our new reality. You don't need all the shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. You're mine. You're mine.
who owns the rights who owns the rights to the interior of the Great Pyramid? NASA.
What?
I was told by one of the guides a couple years ago that, get as much as you can coming in here because they say that they may one day shut off access to the King's Chamber. I said, why would they do that? He said, well, they're afraid that, the pyramid's earthquake or something could make it unstable. I'm like, this thing has been here for thousands of years. It's not going to become unstable. That's foolishness. What's happening is they've discovered something technological about it, and they want to control it. So
NASA owns the rights to the interior of the Great Pyramid.
Yes.
That's spooky, man.
They also own the rights to a section of the Grand Canyon. So I took a helicopter down into the Grand Canyon. They said we can't walk to this area. That area I heard had some old carvings or something would be over in this area, so I started trying to walk that way. And this guy pops who owns the rights to the interior. I think the Great Pyramid is a multifunctional stone computer and power generator. Who owns the rights to the interior of the Great Pyramid? NASA. They also own the rights to a section of the Grand Canyon. So I took a helicopter down into the Grand Canyon. They said we can't walk to this area. That area I heard had some old carvings or something would be over in this area, so I started trying to walk that way. And this guy pops out of nowhere with all black on, black hat, black military outfit with no logos, and an AR-15, and tells me, halt, you can't go any further. I'm like, why? I said, what's going on? Oh, didn't they tell you couldn't come over here? I said, well, they did, but I'm thinking, I just want to see, what's over here.
Right.
And he says, you can't come. I said, well, why? What? I said, can you just tell me, sir, why can't I come over here? He says, NASA owns the rights to this section. You can't come over here.
At the Grand Canyon.
At the Grand Canyon.
Do you have any theories of why that is?
This got to be technological. Starts in something with space. And then also, where else? Chaco Canyon. Same situation. I think the Great Pyramid is a multifunctional stone computer and power generator. Who owns the rights to the interior of the Great Pyramid? NASA. They also own the rights to a section of the Grand Canyon. So,
who is Enoch?
Enoch is a half human, half Anunnaki. He's a quote-unquote demigod, supposedly. So his father was a god and his mother was a human being. And these beings that came to visit gave him an appointed date that he would be taken away from Earth. And so he got taken away from Earth, and he then describes the shape of the Earth, the size, the color, everything from space. a gigantic blue glowing sphere. In the Bible, it seems as if he just disappeared from earth and he was taken into heaven and never came back, but that's not the case. In the book of Enoch, you find out he was brought back. But also what's interesting about Enoch is he came back with some advanced knowledge and understanding about construction technique. All of a sudden, this guy understands and knows how to build megalithic structures. Who taught him this information? Wherever he went, he became a student. And they brought him back and he had this knowledge and this wisdom. There's only one Bible that exists with the full book of Enoch in the same Bible, and that's the Ethiopian Bible.
Who is Enoch?
Enoch.
What's the earliest version of the Bible that exists?
One of the earliest versions is the Ethiopian Bible and the Sinai Bible.
Who was it that went to the Ethiopia? One of the 12 went there, but I could be wrong.
Maybe it's possible.
Matthew?
It's possible.
So it's a city called Mermena, supposedly in Ethiopia, describing as a land that was inhabited by tribes of cannibals. After departing from Jerusalem, and the Holy Apostle Matthew preached the glad tidings of the gospel.
And that's why you see a Jewish faction there as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so the earliest version of the Bible, or one of the earliest, is in Ethiopia.
I've linked the Ethiopian Bible in the video down below. And if you're quick, you can still participate in TikTok's flash sale, which only lasts for a couple more hours.
What's the earliest version of the Bible that exists?
One of the earliest versions is the Ethiopian Bible and the Sinai Bible.
Anunnaki. What are they?
Well,
these giants.
Yeah. Okay, the Anunnaki, they are these beings that came from off-world.
So these are aliens?
These are aliens. Now, what's interesting about these aliens is that they're not little green men with antenna.
Yeah.
They're actually hominids, bilateral bipedal hominids. They look just like us.
Okay.
You slice them in half. They have two forward-facing looking eyes, two hands. We actually look like them.
Okay.
And the reason why is because we have their genetics and their DNA. inside of our bodies. Now, what's interesting is these beings were a spacefaring race that broke away from the Pleiadian star system. The Pleiadian star system is a group of stars called the Seven Sisters in the night sky. You can see 6 stars with the naked eye. Now, these stars in ancient times, according to ancient texts and tablets, there was an ancient galactic war there.
Okay.
Most of the information from Star Wars comes from this text. And this war, they had these destroyers like Death Stars. They don't call them that, but they call them the Brahma-Astra and Brahma-Astra Honda weapons that actually can release a weapon that can destroy planets.
Okay.
Imagine if you're in a star system and a planet is being blown up and you're in a nearby planet. You got to get off of your planet.
Yeah.
This created something called space refugees. Nobody's talking about this.
We're Anunnaki. What are they?
What kind of stuff they have buried in those Vatican?
Anunnaki. What are they?
What kind of stuff they have buried in those Vatican archives?
Oh man,
And
they
what
got
kind of stuff is hidden from us?
Whew. Listen, in those Vatican 5 miles of underground Vatican archives.
Right. That's a lot.
There's been a few people that have come out talking who have had access to these Vatican archives. They can't say specifically everything they saw, but one guy did come on a documentary on History Channel years ago and talked about the fact that they had bones of beings that weren't human. From their perspective, they weren't human bodies. They had books and texts down there that nobody's ever been able to read or access that talk about technology, flying devices, and all these other incredible things that were hidden during the Inquisitions, because during the Inquisitions, they were suppressing technology heavy because they wanted to keep their boot on the necks of the people. The Inquisitions were so brutal, they killed over 80 million people over the course of 700 years, ordered underneath the popes. That really held us back because we should have been on the moon in the 1800s if it wasn't for the Inquisitions. That alone held us back from technological advancement.
What kind of stuff they have buried in those Vatican?
Stop wearing AirPods. The EM.
What?
Stop wearing AirPods. The EM. Frequency these items produce create inflammation in the brain and in the cells in our body. It also weakens your electromagnetic field, which weakens your physical body. Putting on the armor of God in the Bible is having a strong electromagnetic field so that no negativity can bother and affect you. Thoughts are electric, emotions are magnetic. Together this creates the electromagnetic field. Every thought has an emotion attached to it. Emotion is energy in motion, the torus field. Your thoughts create your emotions create the electromagnetic field from the heart. Love and happiness and high-frequency internal states create strong electromagnetic fields. This is what you call a vibe when you meet someone. It's basically a manifestation of their internal emotional self. The things we use on a daily basis are harming our electromagnetic field and inflamming cells in our body. Orgonite crystals have the ability to block out EMF frequencies. Nikola Tesla knew that crystals were living, intelligent beings. Physical versions of the Book of Wisdom are now available. The link's in the bio. There's limited stock of these. Orgonite crystal necklaces. The link is in the bio. Stop wearing AirPods. The EMF frequency these items. You never die. You need to prepare for life after death. If you die with mental addictions to lust, food, and power, you will reincarnate. You need to detach from all worldly pleasures. This is why the Bible says, do not love this world nor the things it offers you. When you die, you go into the astral plane. This is the realm of imagination. This is where thought forms manifest into things. When you die with mental addictions to the worldly things, you will be manifested as a demon in the lower astral planes. In the physical plane, you can cover this up, but in the astral, you will manifest whatever you think. The 7 deadly sins are 7 internal states that make you reincarnate after death. Society is molded so that you get addicted to materialism so that you reincarnate. The life and death cycle is manifested every single day with day and night, or even the winter. Everything dies in the winter and then is born again in the summer. This is a microcosm of life and death. Physical is phi cycle. Phi is the torus field. The torus field creates physical matter. It's the cycle of the torus field. The link is in the bio for the Book of Wisdom PDF. The physical versions will be available on January the 8th in paperback and hardcover. You don't need food, you need charging. There are many different ways you can charge the body, like grounding or standing next to trees. You are a biological battery. When you are hungry, this is not hunger. This is your digestive system getting rid of waste and toxins from the body. It's important that you fast because after 2 days of fasting, your body produces stem cells to regenerate the body. The more toxic your body is, the more sleep you need. You don't need 8 hours. This is real food. Humans possess trichromatic vision, which means their brains are wired to seek color, just like every other herbivore animal. Our brains are wired to seek electrical, colorful food, which charges us, not dead, rotting flesh. Foods are either acidic or alkaline. Acidic foods promote cellular deconstruction, which destroys your cells. Alkaline foods promote construction of your cells. Every 90 days, your cells are brand new. You can regenerate your body just by eating the correct food. Food is designed to grow on trees and from the ground, not on legs running away from you. Comment with 0 likes wins a free Book of Wisdom and a human health guide. You don't need food. You need charging. You don't need food, you need charging. There are many different ways you can charge the body. You create demons. You are mental, astral, etheric, and physical. Thoughts, imagination of the thought form, energy, and physical matter. Your mind is the director of energy. When you give attention to these demonic thoughts that are inside of your mind, you are giving energy to it. And this energy will manifest into the astral plane, the world of imagination. This is where thought forms start to manifest. Yes, this is where you go when you die, and this is where spirits are. They are basically entities without no physical body. When you constantly feed a negative thought, you create some sort of astral plane entity. The demon that you create is only alive because you are feeding it energy through your mental thoughts. Therefore, it will continue to thrive off your energy. Every addiction that you have and negative thought patterns that you have is a demon within the astral plane that is feeding off your electromagnetic field. You also attract demons based upon your vibrational frequency. If you exist on a low frequency, you will attract the people, the entities, and the beings that are on that frequency. frequency. If you are in a low state of mind and you astral project, you will meet the beings that are in that similar frequency, such as demons and jinns. When you give all of your energy and praise to this external God from outside of yourself, you are giving all of your energy to this astral form. Satan, Baal, Moloch is all of this demonic energy that people have been summoning and creating over the thousands of years in the astral plane. It is not actually a real entity. It is basically manifested thought forms giving it energy. It has no true form. This is why it can manifest into many different things like goats, owls, and other demonic entities. This is why they want everyone thinking and believing in the same things. This is called a hive mind. When everyone everyone believes in one certain God or specific thing, this will all manifest in the astral plane. All of the minds in the world will give this etheric energy to this demonic energy in the astral plane, and this is what they are summoning. They are feeding off our energy. You are a microcosm of the macrocosm. You are a godlet, meaning a droplet of God, a spark of God, and this consciousness is in the center of the brain. Therefore, you should not be worshipping external gods outside of you. You should be looking to raise your consciousness to manifest the God self that is within. If you want to learn this knowledge for yourself, get my book, The Book of Wisdom. The link is in my bio. You
realise I'm very late to the party in updating you guys about this, but in case you didn't know, recently a paper has been published which confirms what a lot of experts already thought, that there definitely was a branch of the Nile around the Old Kingdom, 4th dynasty, that literally went right up and just kissed the pyramids, which means that the theory about floating the blocks up to the pyramid, it gives it a lot of credit. As you can see down here in this little diagram, that is the 3 pyramids on the Giza Plateau, and this is where the Khufu branch, as they call it. Come on, man. That Khufu, that one pharaoh, gets a lot to his name when we're not even sure. Why is the whole river named after him now? Anyway, it comes right up and literally sits outside the Sphinx. There we are. I guess it's also called the Aramat branch, but this is a bit of a better visual. But, so if this is what the river looked like in the Old Kingdom, what did it look like before that? So a few thousand years before the beginning of the dynastic Egyptians, the African humid period, which is like 10,000, 12,000 years ago, up to like, I want to say 5,000 years ago, it was even bigger. So what it was like when the dynastic Egyptians were running around Egypt, it was 40% of what it would have been thousands of years before, when literally it would have like been up all in the face of the pyramids. And here we are downstream. Same thing goes for the Red Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid. There were these little like inlets from the second shoot of the Nile. So there we are. So this news is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, you can maybe see why whoever made the pyramids originally, why this particular site was chosen, its location. Because previously you're looking at hauling so many blocks up a massive 120-foot cliff which goes up to the plateau, because the Giza Plateau is actually 120 foot higher than anywhere else. However, if we look back, it was all water, so you're not hauling it anyway, you're just putting it in a boat. So maybe it was ease of access for the location. Second interesting thing is, if you belong to the party that thinks that the pyramids of Egypt were not tombs, or were not originally used as tombs, that they had some sort of other function in their original state, those people who follow those theories, it all has to do with water. Water, cavitation, moving water, creates energy. There's been a paper recently that has shown the example of how using water cavitation, i.e. moving water, can create nuclear energy. It's a legit paper. I will be doing a video on it. So the idea that all the pyramids, the 38 pyramids, are aligned with where this ancient branch of the Nile was. They all have water connecting to them. So if there was a function for any of these sites, you would need water to support that theory. And now that part of it has been found. So it's interesting for a bunch of reasons. I'm very excited to see where this goes. Hope you have a Everyone, if you'd like to just come through. We are going up the Grand Gallery here, and we're going to go up to the King's Chamber, where they buried the Pharaoh. Wow. Oh, question. Where is the Pharaoh now? I don't see any mummies in the pyramid. Oh, that's because we never found any. Right. So how do you know it was a tomb? Well, we just assume that at some point in history, grave robbers came and stole the body. So if there's no body, how do you know it was a tomb? Well, like I said, they probably stole the body. That's why it's not here today. Well, where's all the stuff? Like, the stuff for the Pharaoh's afterlife? Like, surely they wouldn't have taken everything. Maybe they were very considerate and tidied up after. So there's no body and no forensic trace of anything to do with a burial. Like I said, probably a tomb. What else would they be? Right, everyone, if you'd like to... Did you... You know that there's been a whole subterranean level discovered underneath the treasury in Petra, Jordan. So in 2003, during the Iraq War, when tourism kind of took a dip, they got to excavate underneath and around in front of the treasury in Petra, and they discovered 5 chambers underneath. Here's a little diagram. Did you know that there's been a whole subterranean level discovered underneath the treasury in
It doesn't matter, because it's just a ride, and we can change it anytime we want. It's all a choice. No record, no work, no job, no savings or nothing. Just a choice right now between fear and love.
That's why you can't hear me over here. And perhaps you couldn't hear me over here. I know, let me check my other sound settings. Holy shnikes. Hold on. We only took the bare minimum when we moved. Anyway, we set everything up, held hands, repeated the words, and that's when it began. All the candle flames started to rise at the same time like something out of a cheesy horror movie. It started as gentle tapping on the sliding glass doors behind us that eventually grew louder and more violent. It turned to knocks and then banging that came from all different directions with no identifiable source. We started to hear whispers and then full-blown conversations, but I couldn't make out the words. Then something that sounded like an argument between a man and a woman coming from none other than my fucking bedroom. It all came to a climax when we heard something being thrown and glass shattering. We all jumped up at the same time, releasing hands, and then the candles blew out on their own. Freaked, we grabbed our flashlights and tried to figure out what broke. When we explored my room, that's when I saw it. A framed childhood photo of me had been thrown off the wall and onto the floor across the room by my closet doors, and the glass on it had shattered. That's when we left. Okay, so I just realized my Spreaker peeps. Once again, I'm so sorry. Like, I swear to God, I looked at everything. For some apparent reason, you're muted. So, if you want to hear the rest of the story, please go to We Are Paradox Media's YouTube, and you should be able to hear it there. But I feel so embarrassed that I once again was muted for you. It really freaking upsets me. Anyways, to this day, my mom denies that anything happened in that house. Hey, that wasn't my mom, because my mom was very open and honest about shit, but my grandma and my grandpa, they're like, just go back to sleep. There ain't nothing happening. You gotta get up at 4:30 in the morning and tend to these chickens and cows and farmers, blah, blah. So my grandparents denied it. My mother never did. My mother tried to teach us, even though I was very small at this point, but my older siblings can tell me things. As well as the point that they found a magic book in our house, and they read from it, and then shortly after that is when my mother saw her demise. My mother actually saw when she was going to die, wrote a letter home, picked her own clothes that she wanted to wear to her funeral. Could you imagine? Like, I would just stay in bed and not go anywhere and just hope it never happened. And then at that point, maybe the ceiling would just fall in on me. Which I hear my ceiling creak all the time, like there's something big, like Jeepers Creepers or something on my ceiling. I don't know. To this day, my mom denies that anything happened in that house, although she had been grabbed in her sleep several times and witnessed the fear in literally all of her children living there, rolling my eyes. My little brothers and older sister don't like to talk about it, but I was just recounting stories with my little sister on the phone yesterday. So this is all very fresh in my mind. One thing that was there, whatever was really dark, followed us to the next house. Are you fucking serious? I hate that. Ooh. So followed us to the next house we rented. I can go on and on. I seriously have so many experiences. If anyone's curious, anyway, thanks for reading this. If you stuck it out, laughing my ass off, most people I tell this to just roll their eyes or imply I'm a liar, and that just might be the worst part of this all for me. Thanks for listening. And that's the hard part, because people don't believe you. So New Bill said, instead of going on to a new story, we only have time for recounts or comments. New Bill said, this is fascinating. Thank you for sharing. We are all here for stories like this, so if you have any more, of course, we'd like to hear them. What happened with the entity who followed you when you moved? Did you move nearby or further away? Calera62 said, I still have nightmares about my old room. when I'm 62. Seriously, this is PTSD, or is it SPTSD? Supernatural post-traumatic stress. I've dealt with this my whole life. And me and my husband were talking about this today. I'm like, you laugh at this and make a joke of it, but I've been dealing with this my whole life. You've been pissed off at me. Okay, this is our 20th anniversary. You've been pissed off at me since 20 years ago. I can't fucking help it. You could say, oh, you're a quack or whatever. No, I'm not. I'm just set to the circumference of I'm afraid to fall asleep because something scary might come out and get me. So I have to wait till, and this has been general, even till today. I could see where the cats like scratched my curtains, the light coming through. The sun is coming up. It's finally safe to go to sleep. How do you fix that? I don't know. Love my plumber. Oh yeah. Said, I believe you. My mother forced me into paranormal situations. Oh, holy shit, hold on. No, go back. I'm trying to like it. I'm trying to like it a lot. Love my plumber. There we go. My mother forced me into paranormal situations that 50 years later still haunts me. Pun intended. So, I know they experience it, but are they actually trying to force us into it? And then that takes me into the paranormal or family curse. Because she saw the devil, and then knew when she was going to die, etc., etc. I don't know if she saw the little gremlin guys, but then her and my dad went to Denver to Mount Evans. She had a conference up there. Then they went down to Mesa Verde. Then they went into Pagosa. I'm pretty sure I stayed in the same hotel. I want to say hotel room because it looked the same, but I think same hotel. Family curse. I've been a lot of the same places. When I was a kid, I was afraid to go to Mesa Verde. Like something was going to get me and grab me by the frickin' ass. But yeah, I was super scared. I think we got time for this one. My only two ghost stories, one from a long time ago and the other is recent. I feel that something is near me constantly. This is by u/species-me. I've always been really skeptical, but now a little more open-minded. As a kid, I lived in a house with doors that would regularly open and slam shut repeatedly. I even saw a shadow boy run right past the shower while I was showering. He was about 4 feet tall. I'm pretty convinced that it had something to do with the creepy glass dolls my mom owned. Really creepy vibes. 2. I've been struggling with sleep and have been feeling off in my room. What did we just discuss? Insomnia. PTSD. SPTSD. A couple of weeks ago, I got home from work and stayed up playing my guitar in bed after a couple of drinks. I usually have a little trash bag in my room, but during my practice, I was looking at the bag move. It was making plastic bag noise. I kept practicing and ignoring it because I didn't want to psych myself out when suddenly the bag forcefully dragged itself a short distance. The bag wasn't light either. I explained it to my brother, and all he said is that I was probably just tired. I'm not sure if the feeling I'm getting is normal or if it's just me being anxious or paranoid. I don't think you are anxious or paranoid. I think this stuff is really happening. Oh my, oh my. Could you imagine, like, if this stuff is really happening to you and nobody really freaking believes you? Anyways, boys and girls, that is the end of our time this evening. Yes, we have a little bit of time post-haste, but I really need to hit the head and have to say my goodbyes at this point. Come and check my sound settings. Everything's good. It looks good, looks good. Gonna turn this down a smidge. Thank you so much once again to my listeners for hanging out with me tonight on the No Good Ass Media's Thank you to all of our friends on here for the last few years. Facebook, Geeking Out Radio, Twitter, Spreaker, Internet Radio, TikTok, etc. Wherever else you may be listening to our universe, this week, we'll do it again next week. We have a lot of things lined out. We don't have anything set in stone yet, so just hang out there with me. If you can't hear me, let me know. Don't just check out. Say, hey, I can't hear you. Because I have so many different things going. Sometimes I keep something muted, so please let me know. Because I want to do the best job I can. If you have anything to tell me as far as what episodes, or certain guests before, certain guests before, just contact me at at least you know what's going on, I can fix it. And that's what I want to do. I've been doing this for over 5 years. I would love to fix it and make it the best show ever that we can do. Don't forget, you guys, we're all in this together. Together, we can make the world a bit better. And together, let's get our paradox. Here is the last. Until next time, never mind, good night to all my ladies out there. Shall we? I love you all. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow night for story time with me, TessaTNT. That's right. Tomorrow night we have Douglas Adams, the restaurant at the end of the universe. Super excited about that. But yeah, please come back. Hang out with me. Love you. Bye.